So I just did this recording like 50,000 times. So this is part two of my cousin trying to do something to me in the room. So I graduated in June '04. This was the summer after June '04. This was still 2004. So I lived with them. Like I said, I lived with my grandmother my senior year partially. Um, and my adopted grandmother my senior year partially. And when her friend passed away is when I moved in with my cousin and his baby mother. While I lived there, my adopted sister moved in, her best friend, their friend, and his girlfriend. They already had their three kids and also his nephew and them two. And then there was an older lady that lived there, and her kids would come and stay there and stuff. And people would just go back and forth. Um, while I was there, I was just being a kid. I had just graduated out of high school in June. Eventually I got pregnant, but right before I got pregnant, I had made a Black Planet page. Back then, Black Planet was just that. It was just for Facebook, Instagram, all that. So I made a page. I met one person off of it. I never met anybody else off of it because then shortly after I found out I was pregnant, and so that just ended that. What happened was people started when we fell out. When the person came to the house, um, the father of my child came to the house with his other baby mother now, but it was, I guess, his girlfriend, while I was pregnant, and we fell out. When I left, I guess this was when it started, but it might not have been. It might have been before that. Um, they started using my Black Planet page as I was hooking, like I was a hoe, like I was being a prostitute for real. So, um, and it had my face on it. It was just like Facebook, just like Instagram. It wasn't like, oh, it was just body shots and stuff like that. It wasn't no naked pictures. It was my prom picture, my senior, the boat, well, not boat cruise. No, it did have my boat cruise picture. It had senior picnic on it. It had pictures from previous what is it, snowball and stuff like that, like school pictures. Any pictures that were on there at that time were all of me underage. It was all my high school, whatever was in high school, because that's how close high school was to me. Um, it was just that. It was just the summer. I just graduated in June '04, like I said. Um, so they started using my page, hooking, I guess. But I met one person off of it. But later on, people started saying stuff to me, and while I was pregnant. So after I left, I moved right to Berkeley. I stayed there for about 2 weeks, and then I moved back to Richmond. And as I was living in Richmond, months later, we moved to East Oakland. And eventually, down the line, I ended up moving back to Berkeley. I did a lot of moving. I really have been homeless for a long time. Um, this past time, I'm just throwing this out there, but this past time is the only time that I lived outside. But I've been homeless since my junior year when they decided to get up and move to, well, senior year, when they decided to get up to move to Sacramento my senior year, like I should move to Sacramento my senior year. And so I've been homeless since then. I've been pillar to post ever since then, no matter what. So they started using my page. People would come up to me and say stuff and be like, well, oh, you gonna ditch me, or you gonna act like you don't know me? And I really didn't know these people. So I would get into it with people because they were very sure that they knew me, and I didn't know that they were using my Black Planet page at the time. So my argument was very, very real and serious, and that's what made that situation dangerous, because I'm popping off at the mouth, and these people is swearing to God that they know me, and the way they would come at me, they weren't happy. They weren't not happy. They were upset. With my black and ugly ass, they was upset that they didn't get to meet me, or that I stood them up, or that I sent somebody else to get the money, and that's why he only paid them. It would be all kind of crazy, like arguments, and I'd be standing there arguing with these people. My life was being put in danger a lot because my argument was very real. They not knowing that I don't know who you are at all, at all. I haven't been on my Black Planet page in almost a year. I don't even own a computer to get on my Black Planet page. And at the time, I didn't own a phone. So I was like, I really don't know who you are. But in the midst of that, that's what came up to there was another video that had been put up when I was a kid. So it's a video where they said I'm sitting on top of the person, which I was. But we were in high school, being kids, kids being kids, girls being fast ass. I was being fast ass. It was the person I lost my virginity to. We were in my room together. Originally, there were people in my house that spent the night, and that's what it was. We were there having a little get together or whatever, but it was people that had already spent the night in my house. And then the people that came in my room was one of the people that spent the night in my house. She had no reason to act like she don't know that what I'm talking about, or no reason to act like, because originally anybody that was in the house originally when my friend, when he came over, him and his friends came over, they knew that we weren't in the living room, we weren't in the kitchen, we weren't in my mom's room. I mean, in my adopted mom's room, we weren't in my adopted sister's room. So where else would we be? We weren't in the family room with y'all. So where else would we be? You walk past the bathroom, ain't nobody in there. And we were all together. So y'all knew that we had exited and went in my room. They knew. The people that were originally in my house, because this is what I said when they opened my door. I said, why would you open my door? I said, why would you even come in my room? I said, and why are they in my house? Because they are not supposed to be in here. What are they doing in here? So at the time and still now, I take it as kid shit. If that was kid shit, oh, let's go open the door, let's go do this and that, that was kid shit. And so I'm not that mad about it, and I'm not mad other than it put my life in danger when it came down to it, because people start saying stuff, and it changes the aspect of people's lives when shit happens and they don't know nothing about it. The thing is that the video wasn't like this other video, and it wasn't to where it would have, even if it was, like, it would have damaged me. It was a person I lost my virginity to. I wasn't sleeping with a whole bunch of people. It wasn't something that would have killed me. Everybody in the world and everybody in the school knew already what was going on between me and that person, so it didn't even matter like that. And it wasn't just as horrible, but the fact that it was up makes it bad, because who put it up? You came in my room and opened my door knowing that we were in there, knowing that they were behind you, knowing that people was coming in behind you. You opened my door. And I was like, the more I think about it, like, why would you do something like that? Why would anybody do something like that if you weren't trying to be funny? But I have to remember, we were children. We was kids. We were kids. But that's where that comes from. So when people are like, I don't know what she's talking about, what party, because we used to go to a lot of parties, that's the party I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It's when we were all there, we had people spend the night, and all of a sudden people that wasn't in the house originally is in my house, and you're opening my door with them at my door, laughing and playing. Like, no. But it wasn't that big of a deal like that, so, because we were kids. But that's what I'm talking about, and that's video people did see, and that's why they started being on my Black Planet page, I guess, trying to talk to me and stuff like that. And I'm just like, but the reality is that's when my life got a little bit dangerous, because I didn't know what they were talking about. And people don't take into consideration when they're doing this pimp hoe thing, that when you put yourself in that category, you are establishing yourself as an item that is being paid for. Not in a bad way, not in a horrible way, but that is what it is. And when you establish yourself as an item that's being paid for, what makes you think that somebody don't want what they paid for? If you walked into a store, if you walked in anywhere, you went to go get some shoes, went to go buy some candy, they don't have the candy you want, you go to another store, or you buy another pair of shoes that you want. Please listen to the words that I'm saying. You get another pair of shoes that you want. And people don't take that into consideration. So when you came there playing like you were me, and you weren't me when you got there, and you wanted his money, and he don't want to give it to you, or he gives it to you because you're there, but you forgot about me. And that's where my life started getting dangerous. And it was dangerous because I didn't know what was going on the other side, and my fight back then was serious. I was ready to fight. I was ready to argue. I don't give a fuck